Hey everyone, Wesley here. So, as we're closing in on 2025, it's time for us to look back to the GTM space along with dozens of industry leaders and have them share with us their favorite go to market platform or product this year. So, over the past few weeks, we reached out to as many GTM leaders that we could, including agency owners, CEOs, or even top voices in the space, and asked them two questions. Number one, which tool or product that they are most excited about in 2025. And number two, where's the space evolving into 2026? Now, before we jump into the video, there has been tons of new events, products, and builders flooded into the space this year. And there are a lot of platforms that I'm excited about, like Clay, Smartly, Instantly, Master Inbox, ICP, so League Magic. But to me, the one that I constantly find myself talking about and one of the tools that I use the most at the agency has to be Octave. So for 2026, I'm seeing more and more AI features or products getting implemented, and we're going to see a bigger gap between innovators versus the one who still are not using AI. So yeah, that's my favorite or top platform for 2025 and my prediction for 2026.
What's going on, guys? Brennan Charleston here, founder of Top of Funnel. I would say my favorite GTM tool is none other than Cursor. And the reason for that is because you are literally limitless when it comes to being able to execute any project, any idea, anything that you want to possibly when it comes to your idea, right? So the reason I think that is the case is because with GTM, the limits are limitless. And you want to be able to have overall intelligence around like your TAM, the offer, you don't know what you don't know kind of scenario. And the other thing too is you can tie in a lot of things like MCP servers in order to bring in context and write code, execute on scripts, write terminal, you can run background jobs, you can design anything that you want to, a dashboard. So I really think it is just the ultimate builder in manipulating and taking data however you want. That said, that's what I'm most excited about in 2026, and I think is going to set the bar even higher, is being able to actually execute faster, more efficiently, at scale for building systems like these. I also think that open source is going to be a lot more of a resource when it comes to how to code with things, because GitHub is a gold mine for everything when it comes to just knowing how to code things, taking examples here and there, and you can obviously clone that and bring that into Cursor. And so I really think any IDE, but more importantly Cursor, has just been on fire when it comes to using a tool that can literally do anything you want. So that is what I'm excited about. Happy New Year.
Hi, my name is Emil. I am one of the co-founders of the Growth DNA, a GTM agency, supposedly the only Clay Studio partner and expert in Scandinavia. So my favorite GTM tool this year and my biggest bet going into 2026 is honestly going to be Cursor. 2 weeks ago, I had zero coding experience. I didn't even have a GitHub account set up, which is sort of embarrassing at this point. I didn't barely know what the terminal was beyond playing around with it in 5th grade to look cool. And during a singular weekend, I built a production-ready dashboard for our clients, hosted on Railway, automating our data pipeline from Smartly, as well as building out our internal database, or at least starting it. So we currently have around 15 million accounts sitting there, only external data that we've been exporting lately, without even touching any of the data that's just collecting dust on our Clay account. So Cursor is going to be the way agencies are going to separate themselves with proprietary tools over anybody else in the space in 2026.
Hey everyone, my name is Baltodano, also known as the Deliverability guy on LinkedIn, and I'm the co-founder at Mission Inbox. We're an email infrastructure solution which helps companies with their emails on transactional side, marketing, and of course, cold emails at scale. So we're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of emails on a daily basis without going into the spam folder. Now, as far as my favorite go-to-market tool for this year, I think I'll have to give the trophy to Clay, not because of the AI personalization that everybody's now doing, but I'm thinking about the wide use cases that we've now seen lately, which is CRM enrichment, plugging data into, Email Bison, Smart Lead instantly, getting that data from Cursor. Again, it's kind of like an orchestration of some sort. People are now creating their own databases. People are now creating, instead of having to buy leads every single time, they're now using Clay alongside all these different solutions that I just mentioned. So I will have to give them, the trophy for 2025. And as a runner-up, of course, Cursor, which is now creating like all this internal database and agencies becoming more SaaS-oriented in a way, which is very, very cool. Now, coming into the hot takes for 2026, again, coming from the deliverability space, I think we're still going to see lots of changes. I think we're going to see more and more people trying out SMTPs for the simple reason that Google and Microsoft don't want you sending from them. And they've made it very, very clear by banning accounts and doing everything that they've been doing. And also, we're going to see the spam filters becoming more and more intelligent. So whether that is with Gemini or Copilot or whatever AI each one of these solutions is using, most likely it's going to be tougher to get into the inbox folder, and we have to be more and more targeted, I would say. You can still blast emails, but you have to do it with a good infrastructure, and being more targeted and taking care of your infra, taking care of everything, I think is going to move from the red ocean that lead generation agencies have been for the past, years or so, into now more of a blue ocean, because the barrier of entry, even though it seems low, it's not really that low. You have to invest in infrastructure, you have to invest in personalization, you have to invest in a good sequencer. And all those things are going to make it so that all the different agencies that haven't taken care of that, they're going to get killed. All those that are now invested into this, they're now realizing, hey, things have changed, therefore we have to change to keep on providing value, are going to be the ones to win by the end of 2026. So without further ado, enjoy your 2026, guys. See ya.
Hey all, my name's Thomas. I'm the head of growth here at Cymate, and my tool of the year for 2025, as well as what I'm betting on in 2026, is kind of one and the same. So number one being Claude MCP, as well as Smart Lead. So in terms of Claude, we've had many AI agents, AI tools that have been launched this year. It's honestly been overwhelming. Many subscriptions have been canceled after running repeated tests, and at the forefront of all of that, Claude has kind of been that universal integrator. So for every single GTM practitioner operator out there, I just feel like Claude has a lot of really universal applications, a lot of really universal use cases, and being at the forefront of having the most integrations and the greatest overall functionality, I think it's incredibly useful as data becomes more abundant. Data is also frustratingly fragmented, and I feel like Claude is the one sort of center point where we can centralize all this together. And so I think that's pretty key for informing the next best steps in campaigns. Smart Lead, they've been at the forefront of launching as many features as possible. I swear I talked about a feature internally yesterday, and they're shipping it tomorrow. And so I think the future is something where, Claude MCP is not only able to call up data and reports, but we're also able to come up with data-informed campaigns. So creating a re-engagement campaign with new copy, pulling in a lead list all through this one centralized chat box. We're able to launch that campaign through Smart Lead, fix the automations, check in on things like deliverability, and we're not having to duct tape 5 to 10 different tools together, plus an admin assistant just to run a simple operation. So that's kind of what I think 2026 is going to look like. Really excited, and hopefully we can test it all together.
Hey, my name is Zach Vidibor, one of the co-founders and CEO of a company called Octave. We help companies build a living brain for their ICP to help them power better lead enrichment, qualification, outbound campaigns, and overall build messaging to go after their prospects and customers. My favorite go-to-market tool this year, I think, was, there's so many. A company called, it's now called Ordinal. It used to be called Assembly. It helps us with our content calendar on LinkedIn for posting and collaborating and building posts. And I like the tool, great design, super helpful, useful, not a ton of AI in it, ironically, but just a great tool. And we discovered it this year and been enjoying it a lot. And I think, let's see, predictions are more fun. I think next year we're going to see a model provider buy a go-to-market tech company. Who knows if it'll work out, but let's see. All right, happy New Year's all. Bye.
I'm Benjamin Reed, founder of RevyOps. My favorite GTM tools this year are RevyOps and Unthread. RevyOps is our core GTM data engine. Deduplicates, normalizes, and standardizes GTM data across every channel. Then it ties end-to-end to real revenue in the CRM. You can see exactly which campaigns made money, not just book meetings across all clients if you're a GTM agency. It also automates campaign data management, so prospects are always in the right campaign at the right time without manual list work. Unthread solves our other problem, which most teams ignore. It's client communication. We run support through Slack Connect. Unthread turns Slack messages into real tickets. It pulls in documentation and drafts AI responses without leaving Slack. That changed how we scale support. My hot take for 2026 is simple. AI will not save bad GTM teams. Data management will. GTM agencies who are wasting time vibe coding using Cursor, those are the ones that will be out competed by those that actually focus on what matter, which is focusing on landing big contracts and using professional grade software such as RevyOps or Clay to get the job done.
Hey, it's Josh Whitfield, founder of Signaliz and Content Marketing Media. Look, I'm excited about AI this year. I think it's just going to continue to dominate and change the conversation for go-to-market activities. My favorite tool is Signaliz.com. I think look, we're doing some amazing stuff and just helping businesses grow by providing relevant intel to help them identify new customers. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Hi everybody, my name is Mohan. I'm the founder at Spring Drive, and a couple of my favorite GTM tools of the past year have been Clay and SmartLead. Clay primarily because it served as a workflow orchestration hub for all of our campaigns that we run. And the functionality there in terms of what you can do with data is really remarkable, and they continue to add functionality and more features to that. And SmartLead primarily because I find it to be incredibly powerful from a deliverability perspective, and being able to run a lot of AZ testing is really, really easy with the kind of features that they have. In terms of what I find or what I think to be my predictions for 2026 is I think we're going to see a shift from data-driven strategies to more creative strategies, certainly on the pipeline generation side. And what I mean by that is I think at the moment, 2025, we've seen a lot of companies err towards trigger data and signal data, which looks very good, but a lot of companies are finding doesn't generate actually great results. And realizing that what companies need to do now to evolve and stay competitive is actually to be thinking about differentiated GTM strategies. And that's something that requires more creativity. It requires integration of multiple channels and multiple tools, not just to be multi-channel, but to make sure we're actually enhancing what we're doing on various fronts as well. Whether that's, for example, running outbound plays to actually bring people into a content flywheel, whether that's, for example, using ads to bring people into content, or even vice versa, people who engage with your content and then feeding them out to outbound. And so I think we're going to see a lot more of that in 2026, those integrated plays, and particularly, as I say, with more interesting and creative, differentiated GTM strategies. That's what should happen, really, for companies to be able to stay competitive and actually grow in 2026 and beyond.
Hey, my name is Bobby Offterdinger. I am the CEO of TAM to Target. We are a growth services company that focuses in on companies that have niche TAMs, so typically 15,000 accounts or less. And one of those sectors that we focus a lot on is the education sector, so companies that sell into K-12, public schools, private charter, things like that. And so in 2025, our go-to-market tool of the year really was, and continues to be actually, Starbridge. You can check them out at starbridge.ai. And what they've done is they've brought what Clay has done for the B2B space in general into the public sector. So if you sell into education or government or anything that's kind of the public space, you're definitely gonna want to check them out. They have the kind of signal and intent data that we've been looking for a decade, frankly, to bring into the fold more relevant outreach. For 2026, we're doubling down on the call channel and frankly, multi-channel in general, creating more like orchestrated systems for our clients. And I think that we're going to see more diminishing returns on single channel outreach, like just email or just LinkedIn and things like that, especially with our clients that are focusing in on really niche TAM where your brand has a reputation behind it. And so every outreach really matters. So we're excited for 2026. I think the call channel is going to be the big winner. So let's go, see what happens.
Hi, everyone. Jorge Macias here. I am the founder of the Go-to-Market Engineering Company. My favorite GTM tool this year has been Clay. I've been using it the whole year. I've been playing around with all the enrichments, the waterfalls, the data points, the AI, agents, everything. I like to pair up with tools like Octave and Limlist, which I am very excited to see what they come up with this new year. And then in terms of predictions, I think there's a lot of consolidation that's going to be happening in the GTM space in 2026. And I'm excited to see where all the tools evolve and new features that they add to help us go-to-market engineers build great revenue engines for other customers. I hope you like this. Take care. Bye.
Hey everybody, my name is Jack. I'm one of the co-founders at Overvue.ai. Overvue is a AI sales training platform for sales enablement teams and currently just SDRs. My favorite GTM tool of 2026, unsurprisingly, is going to be Clay, but a less boring answer. One tool I've been using in conjunction with Clay is a tool called CrossData. And CrossData is really cool. They have a huge live LinkedIn database. So what that allows me to do is go into like Claude Code and programmatically find leads by talking in human language. So that's been an absolute game changer. Would recommend checking it out. My big prediction for 2026 is we've been seeing a ton more MCP servers pop up this year, and I think that's just going to become more and more prevalent. Like my CRM just released a MCP server, and every single time it just makes life a million times easier, and I think this will be how people kind of interact with data. So yeah, I think more of that in 2026.
Hey guys, I'm Brennan, founder and managing partner at BeFound, and basically what I do is help busy tech founders meet with the right investors and make sure they know exactly what to say and do when we put them in those rooms. And to make that easier for everyone, we need a very strong GTM tool stack. And for 2025, my favorite tool is Clay. If you're in the outbound world, that is probably not very surprising, but at least in the venture capital space, I believe that GTM is actually quite a few years behind. I, till now, still meet investment bankers blasting emails from personal accounts all the time. So for us, Clay has been huge. It lets us look at more data points and be far more intentional about when and how we engage with founders and investors. So my hot take for 2026 is that the best GTM tool won't even be digital actually. Offline GTM is what I think will actually win. In-person events, small roundtables, real-world presence, and social community building will be the biggest differentiator for people. I believe that as inboxes get noisier and people become more cautious with AI, I think recognition and relationships will convert the fastest. That's my hot take and my favorite tool.
My name is Felix. I run a GTM engineering agency called StackOptimise. My tool of the year for 2025 is AI Arc. It's a prospecting database. We've recently migrated to it from Apollo, and it's amazing in terms of data accuracy and the sheer volume of data, but also they have a number of features for building really interesting signal and trigger based lead lists. If you've not heard of AI Arc, highly recommend it for building your lead lists. In terms of trends or predictions for 2026, I think we're going to see a further simplification of the process of building out outbound campaigns, which currently end-to-end is still relatively complex. You need domains, you need inboxes, you need to scrape a lead list, you need to enrich and prepare that lead list inside of Clay before then pushing to your sequencer of choice. I think with things like MCP and further developments in AI, we're going to see this process getting even more simplified, and people will be building out campaigns off the back of nothing more than a prompt. Wishing everyone all the best for 2026.
Hi, my name is Abdul. I'm the founder of Master Inbox. We help sales teams and lead gen agencies combine email and LinkedIn into one single inbox, so you never miss a reply. And one of my favorite, I wouldn't say tools, but I would say Gemini is something that I don't see a lot of people talking about. I do see them saying, hey, Gemini is going to take over the world when it comes to outbound. I don't believe that. But what we're using it for is for actual analysis on reply data. And it's been one of the biggest unlocks. And I think going into 2026, if you aren't looking at your own reply data that you have, you're not analyzing it, you're not extracting sales intelligence from it, and you're not querying back at that data and looking at it in a way to see who are the people that were the most interested, what sectors, categories, what type of services that they offer. And if let's say you are an agency or a sales rep reaching out to people who provide services and you're extracting data from them, your inbox now has an abundance of intelligence that you are really not even querying, not storing, not analyzing, and probably letting go of. So there's a lot of money in your inbox. So I think in 2026, if you are not going to utilize an LLM effectively to your advantage, you are going to be left behind.
Hey guys, this is Saurav from SalesRobot. We're a LinkedIn plus email automation tool, and we integrate with Clay. The big trend that we're seeing this year across our customer base is obviously being able to send highly personalized videos and voice notes for LinkedIn outreach, and that really helps you get a lot more results from the LinkedIn channel. My favorite GTM tool of the year, I know it's going to be boring, it's still Clay, but Clay embedded in other tools like ChatGPT and Clay's recent launches like Sculptor. I know there's a lot of hate about Sculptor, but I love it because it actually lowers the barrier to entry. Anybody who's a sales rep or a AE, like SDR or AE or somebody who has some basic RevOps knowledge can go in there, build their first table, and it makes it less intimidating. So what I like about Clay is that they're actually lowering the barrier to entry. And one hot take prediction for next year is that I think we will enter the age of pre-built apps for every GTM agency or GTM team, right? And the big winners there would be, pieces like Claude Code or Cursor that's able to connect with N10 and build out like custom dashboards, custom, pipelines and all that. So that's my take, and see you in the next year and wish you all the best for all your future campaigns.
I'm Stuart. I'm the founder of SaaSDB, which is a SaaS company database. My favorite GTM tool this year, I think, was Gojiberry, which is like a lead dripper from some buddies of mine in France. But it's nice for my own use. It's nice, my favorite tool, because it always pays for itself, and it's just an easy way to divine your targeting in their tool. And they just use their, you specify filters, and they find the right people to target on LinkedIn. And it pays for itself every month. It's been an easy way to have targeting handed to me, just to take that off my plate, basically let me think about other things and other outbound campaigns I run. And it's been inspirational too. I want to build something similar into SaaSDB. So that's been great for my tool this year, my favorite tool. And then for 2026, my prediction is that we're going to see pushback on AI, just spammy replies, like comment replies, are just going to die off, and they're obviously nonsense when you see them, and people are just going to quit doing that, quit using those. But we're going to see an uptick of AI salespeople doing outreach to targets on LinkedIn and stuff, but having AI handle the conversations and actually do a good job. So basically feeding targets into campaigns and AI doing the messaging and the back and forth until they get on a call or they try your app or whatever. So I think we're going to see more sophisticated AI in sales outreach.
Hey, I'm Preeti, co-founder at Digital Creatives. We help B2B, SaaS, and service-based businesses build GTM systems. My favorite GTM tool implementation this year has to be Rapid API in Clay for local business sourcing. The improvements we've seen in lead sourcing based on the location and keyword options have been massive. It's changed how we think about prospecting entirely, especially when it comes to local businesses or anything where you can search Google Maps with keywords. In 2026, I'm excited about smart agents and MCPs being built directly into tools we already use, like SmartLead. It's really allowing us to move forward with truly multi-channel systems. And with tools like Cursor and Lovable, we're able to build internal apps much faster. So I'm super excited about what this is going to be, how things are going to be in like 3 to 6 months from now.
Hey there, I'm Adam Andrzejewski, and I'm the founder of Stellar Growth, a go-to-market and outbound architecture agency. We have been experimenting with a lot of tools over the last couple months, and I would probably say that the best one that we've been using has been Claude Code, the ability to just quickly create apps that replace entire virtual assistants within, I had spent like $20 in 8 hours, which is absolutely insane. And that kind of leads to some of the changes that I will see happening. I think we will see happening in 2026, which will be that virtual assistants doing cold email, and let's be honest, most people who say that their GTMEs are virtual assistants will be replaced by these apps. And I think that that's going to happen rather quickly. Things like client reporting, cold email stats, cold email campaign generation will be able to be done by Claude Code or Cursor apps in 2026.
Hello, I'm Pierre, CEO and co-founder of ICPs, an email finder tool, and also a sales navigator scrapping tool. My favorite GTM tool this year is GoLogin, an anti-detect browser that is very useful when you have multiple LinkedIn accounts, for example, or any social media accounts that you want to run simultaneously, but with different proxies and web fingerprints. For the year to come, my prediction is that thanks to vibe coding, we'll see a lot more automations. So we will rely more on signals to have the perfect timing when reaching out to prospects. I believe that there are a lot of great opportunities for the best outbound experts, the most advanced ones who really master the tools and the best practices for setting up a good campaign, a good cold email campaign. So I wish you a 10% positive reply rate and an excellent email deliverability. Cheers.
Hey, hi, Happy New Year. So Lohit this side, I'm a full stack GTM engineer. I launched lots of outbound campaign using AI. So when we use AI, that means we use intent-based campaigns or make sure that our campaigns should have relevancy when we're doing an outbound campaign. Like if we find intents, like is companies hiring for any particular role? Does company raise any new fund? Does company have any new product launch? Who are their competitors? So we use this research and we embed this inside our email copy. So we make sure that when we launch a campaign, it should be relevant to the person is going after. It's like, it's not one to many, it's like 1 to 1, when he reads a copy, it should look like he written for him. So that's how we make sure that we use AI to launch any personalized campaign in a scale. And last year was quite a great year. We leverage AI quite a good extent. But this year, I want to focus more on the operational and the strategic side, where we automate lots of this operation using tools like Cursor, Claude Code, which is quite capable of automate all the tasks we used to do manually, and can launch an end-to-end campaign, and where I can spend more time on the strategic side, come up with new ideas, new angles, which can make sure that we get great results for our client. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts for what I'm focusing this year, and have a great year.
What's going on? My name is Kellen Caspear. I'm founder of the Deal Lab as well as GTMcafe.com. And here's my predictions for 2026. So first of all, as a recap on 2025, my tool of the year is two things, Smart Lead and HeyReach. And for me, that comes down to one simple thing, is that is the actual interface of how we communicate with customers, right? And so there's a lot of tools that go into what we as practitioners and operators, the data we have, the information that we have about the market. And I think sometimes we sort of don't do justice to the tools that we actually use to go engage the market. And so for me, it still comes down to actually executing across the engagement tools is where the magic happens. I think in 2026, what we're going to see is a little bit of a deviation from the tool-centric, sort of capability-centric mindset of the GTM operation space and get a lot more into strategic application and next step actions. What I mean by that is go-to-market is not new. What we've been able to do in go-to-market is not predicated on the tools we have, but actually the ideas we have and the way that we think about the world. And so we might be able to automate more and do things more quickly with some of the LLM tools, but it doesn't usually mean that we can do things that we've never done before. And so people focused on capabilities and just the tool sets are always going to be looking behind them, whereas the people thinking about concepts, strategies, and sort of blazing the trails of what's in the future, I think they will be setting not only 2026, but 27, 28, 29, and 30 as well. Thanks so much. See you there.
All right, guys. So that's all we have for today. So if you enjoyed the video, share it with somebody so we can keep the tradition in the years to come. Also, we have all the timestamps for everyone below. So if you see somebody on this video that you haven't heard of before, make sure to give them a follow. And yeah, let me know in the comment which one is your favorite, which one do you think is the most controversial, what's your favorite platform for 2025, and what are you most excited about for 2026. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Truthfully, wishing you all the best, and I'll see you again in 2026.